My aim is to bring examples of people who have successfully landed jobs in the UK from overseas like India or any other country and share their story with you guys to inspire you. So today I'm interviewing someone from the healthcare industry who is working as a nurse in the NHS, which is the National Health Service of the UK, a government funded medical and healthcare services. To those who don't know me and watching my videos for the first time, I'm Sarika and I make videos from my personal and professional experience to help everyone who are planning to move to the UK either for study or work. So welcome to my channel, Your Knowledge Buddy. To those who are regular on my channel, I cannot thank you enough for being so supportive and encouraging me, and it makes me really happy if my videos are helping you. So let's welcome Mona Lisa and get to know her journey in detail. Hi, Mona Lisa. Welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy, and thank you for being part of it. And thank you for agreeing to share your story because I think you will inspire a lot of my subscribers and viewers. So, welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much. It's really um, a pleasurable moment for me to be a part of this thing, and I really appreciate the initiative to let people know to spread the knowledge of nursing and how to come to the UK for nursing and everything. I would definitely help others if I'm required.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That's the spirit. Okay. So, tell me about yourself, Mona Lisa.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, my name is Mona Lisa. I am going to be 24 years old this June, and I've come to the UK in the year of 2019, October to be very precise. I've done my schooling and higher education from India. I passed my class 12 boards, and then straight after that, I entered into nursing college for getting the degree. So it's basically not a degree in India, it's a diploma. It's a 3 years course called GNM, General Nursing and Midwifery course. So I did that 3 years course from Kolkata, West Bengal. And after that, I joined my mother institution hospital, which is the Woodlands Hospital in Kolkata itself. So I worked there in the ITU department for 6 months, and then I left my job and I started to prepare to come to the UK. So it took me about 9 months to prepare for the exams and all the entrances I had to give in order to crack the exams and as well as the interviews in order to be a part of NHS, which has been my dream all over, like all throughout my life. And yeah, so here am I right now, and I'm quite proud and happy to be in this place, to work for the NHS, to live in the UK. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think you've answered like a couple of my questions already. So I'm going to pause for a minute because I need a little bit more detail. So when you
Yeah.
said before taking a break, because you prepared for 9 months, so how
Yeah.
much experience did you say you had? Was it for 6 months experience? Did you say? Okay.
Yeah, so right after my graduation, I joined Woodlands Hospital and I worked there for 6 months. However, I was looking for jobs right from the very beginning, like after my graduation in the UK. I was looking for a job in the UK. And meanwhile, I was working in the Woodlands. But when I got the opportunity, I left my job and I had to prepare for all these exams because I wanted to clear at one go. So that's why I had to leave my job and I had to be very dedicated to give all those exams and everything. So yeah, 6 months of experience back home.
So you did your diploma of 3 years and you had 6 months of experience and you took a break because you wanted to prepare, you dedicated your 9 months to prepare. So when you
Yeah.
said you got the opportunity to prepare, what do you mean? Did you apply anywhere? How did you approach NHS? Can you if you explain that step by step, it will be useful.
Yeah, so basically, when I was a student, nursing student, while doing my college, I was also doing a research personally of how to come to the UK in order to become a nurse and in order to work right from the very beginning as a fresher. So yeah, I had this knowledge that I have to do a couple of tests step by step, and I have to prepare for them. So the first step which I had to clear was the IELTS, the English proficiency test. So the moment I cleared it, I was pretty sure that now I need to prepare for the other tests which are coming back to back. And for that, I can't really like work at my hospital because it was quite hectic. It was becoming hectic for me to work night shifts, day shifts, evening shifts, and then come back home, prepare, and then again go back to work. So it was kind of hectic for me. So I had to take this very big decision of quitting my first job within like 6 months, which was quite a struggle for me in order to convince my parents and everyone. But yeah, I knew this thing in my mind that I'm gonna make it, and yeah, I did make it. So by God's grace, I'm really happy that I'm here.
Of course, yes. Congratulations on that, by the way. And you're not a newcomer anymore in UK.
Yeah, not anymore, I would say, because it's gonna be 2 years now. So yeah, not a newcomer at all.
So Mona Lisa, in terms of when you took the break, what did you study? How did you prepare? First of all, how did you know what are the requirements for nurse in UK? Did you go to the NHS website? Did you go through the careers page? Or was it through the agents you approached who helped you kind of prepare? So how did you do that preparation?
Yeah. So I had few seniors of mine, like from the college where I studied. They also came here in Northampton General Hospital. I'm not naming them, but they came here, and I took help from them as well. Like, what are the steps I need to clear in order to come to the UK? Plus, I did my own research through internet, going through all the websites and procedures, YouTube videos of different successful nurses in the UK and everything. That's how I prepared actually. And then I had to take help of my agent who works for HCL Permanent, which is the agency's name. And it's a London-based agency, basically. So I had to contact the agent, and he helped me after clearing IELTS. So yeah. And then it was quite easy and simple for me because he made me understand what are the steps, like step by step. He made it very discreet and very understandable. So yeah, that's how I made it actually.
Okay. So how did you find this agent? Did you just Google it and find it, or was it your senior
No.
who helped you?
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a friend who's also a nurse in Abu Dhabi.
Mhm.
So he forwarded me the number of the agent. He told me, since you're so intrigued and interested to work for the NHS, why don't you try this agent? Because I was a bit confused which agency I should rely on, because there are a couple of agencies which are not really agencies, and they take a lot of money up front, and then they won't do your work, and they will just disappear. So I was really confused which agency should I rely on. So that time when I was speaking to my friend, and he helped me, he sent me the contact details of the agent. Then after that, I contacted my agent, and we spoke. We shared a couple of emails, and then when I did a research about the agency, I saw that it's actually a valid agency and it's really reliable, because a lot of friends in the UK, they came through this agency. So yeah, that's how I did actually.
So can I just ask, did they charge you? Did they take any kind of fees to help you onboarding and preparation for the nurse job?
To be very, very honest, they didn't charge me a single money, like penny. I had to pay for my exams, which for which I got refunded later when I joined the trust. And when I did my budget, after everything, after coming to the UK, I figured out that I paid nothing, actually, to be very honest. Like, they paid my flight tickets, they paid for my health surcharge, they paid for my visa. Like, obviously, the trust is paying for this, but the agency is getting paid by the trust, so I don't need to pay commission to the agency. Yeah.
To be honest, you know what? I'm not surprised by your answer because I know in UK the recruitment agents, they don't take any money from you. They charge the employers. So in your
Yeah.
NHS is an employer, so they have a tie-up with them, so they take the cut from that.
Yeah.
And in India, it's the vice versa. They charge the
Yeah, exactly.
and they charge
Exactly.
a lot of amount. And like you said, what
Exactly.
if this is not a real kind of agent, and what if they take all the money? And
Yeah.
there are a lot of viewers and subscribers who are asking me, can you give me a name of the agent? Like, I'm skeptical to share the name because I'm not sure how the agents are. And
No, no, no. It's okay. It's fine. Yeah. Actually, my agent, he's still a friend of mine, so we are still in touch, and he keeps on calling me like, "Hi, Mona Lisa, how are you doing at your work?" Because he's quite happy because when we spoke for the first time, he completely understood that I'm clueless and confused. So now when he's seeing me like doing things here, being successful in my work, at my work, so yeah, now we are friends, and he keeps on telling me that if you have any Indian nurses, like your juniors or any other colleagues, ex-colleagues, just let them know that we are recruiting for another trust in London, Manchester, or somewhere else in the UK. Yeah. So I don't mind sharing the contact details of my agent and agency because they have full permission. Yeah.
If you can do that, I'm going to share in my video as well. And
Yeah.
for guys who are watching this video, if you want to be a nurse in UK, you can leave your questions or comments in the comment section below. And if there will be any vacancy, I can reach out to Mona Lisa and she can reach out to the agent, or you can reach out to the agent by giving a reference to Mona Lisa or to this video.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so can I just come back to your preparation? So you gave your IELTS exam, and then what preparation you did? Because you said when you landed here, you had to give another exam here. So before you landed, I'm just trying to understand the process. Before you landed, you have prepared for IELTS. So what's the IELTS score needed?
Yeah, so the minimum score, I mean, the band required for IELTS is 7 for nurses. Now I don't know whether they've changed it, but when I came here, that back at that time it was 7, and like 7 for all the modules, like reading, listening, and speaking 7, and for writing the minimum score was 6.5. So you have to have that, and once you clear IELTS, you have to appear for another test, which is the so I'll be precise about it. So in order to come to the UK, we have to undergo, because we are overseas nurses, the overseas nurses have to undergo a test which is divided into 2 parts. NMC Part 1 and NMC Part 2. So NMC stands for Nursing and Midwifery Council of the UK. So the NMC Part 1 is the test known as CBT. It's a computer-based test which you can give in your country before coming here. So I had to prepare for that for 1 month, and I had to give that exam because I was given a center at my city, in my city, and I had to go there, and it was completely nursing-based test. So you just have to pass it. They have about like 86% or 90, like you have to pass about 90% of the test in order to pass. So so that's how you pass it, and after that you can just look for jobs in different NHS hospitals here. So what my agent did, he, after passing CBT, he helped me with choices of NHS hospitals all over in the UK plus Northern Ireland. So he gave me choices of Manchester as well as Belfast and this one, Luton. So I appeared for the interview, like it was a Skype virtual interview where the HR members of the hospital take the interviews of the nurses, overseas nurses. I had to appear for that. And for all those 3 hospitals, I gave the interview test, and to be very honest, I got selected for all three of those hospitals. I got offer letters from all three of those, and then comes the big confusion that which hospital I should go for. Like obviously it was a meeting held for at my place with my dad, mom, brother sitting around. Like we have to consider a couple of points in order to come to the UK, like the expenses and how much salary I'll be paid and everything. Where will I live? Is it a city or a countryside? A lot of factors we had to cover at that time. So yeah, as a result of which I chose Luton, because I wanted to be near London. I don't know why. Like since when I was childhood, like in my childhood, I really had this desire to come to the UK and stay in London, live in London. So I saw that Luton is quite near to London. So I was thinking, like, if I live in Luton, the expense is not that, high like Manchester or somewhere else. And I didn't, to be very honest, I didn't want to go to Belfast. So that was my on third of my list, like last in my list. So I took the offer letter from the Luton and Dunstable Hospital. After taking the offer letter, they gave me a certificate of sponsorship, for which I had to wait for like 1 month. And they sent me the certificate of sponsorship. And the moment I received it, I sent all my documents, all my original documents, the registration which I had in India, as well as my qualification mark sheets and everything, by post to the main council, Nursing and Midwifery Council of the UK. And then I had to wait another 1.5 months for a proper decision letter. So the decision letter says that, yeah, your documents which you've sent has been assessed, and yes, you can come and work for the NHS. You are eligible. So I had to wait a long period of time for that. And then after getting the decision letter, I just contacted my agent back, and then the agent was quite happy that it took really fast, because in some cases people also wait for like 3 months, 4 months for decision letter. It really depends on person to person. Like you can never be sure that it will come within 1 month. So yeah, after that I contacted my agent, and he applied for my visa. And then I had to undergo the visa process in India, and then that's how I got the visa. And then after that he booked me the flight tickets, and that's how I arrived here. And then, yeah, I was also really confused as well as scared, or I would say nervous, because obviously this is the first time I'm coming to the UK, and I was young. I am young. So my mom, dad couldn't rely properly. Like they were saying because I'm the smallest one in my family, I've been pampered throughout my life. So my mom, dad were like, oh, our daughter is going. We are not sure where she's going and this, that. But I'll thank to my agent and agency that they even picked me up from the airport. They dropped me straight to my hospital accommodation. Everything was handed over. It was a really simple and easy and convenient way. The way they approached everything, it was really nice.
I can see you are a brand ambassador of that agent now, or the company.
Well, I am impressed by them. So yeah, let's just be honest about it.
I'm sure whatever you're saying, and our viewers and subscribers are listening to your feedback, and I'm sure they will be more than happy to contact them if they're
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Mona Lisa, I got 2 questions from what you said now. So you talked about the part 1 of the exam which you have to take in India, and the passing rate was 86%. So was it like an MCQ exam, I believe?
Yeah. So it was a MCQ based questionnaire kind of exams, where you have to just click the right answer, and at the end of the test you'll get your score, and that's how you pass it. That was the first part of NMC test. Now, in order to get the UK registration, which we call as PIN, UK PIN, like every nurse, every doctors, I don't know about doctors actually, every nurse has his or her own PIN here, which we call as the registration ID number. So in order to get that, we have to pass all the exams of NMC competence. So the second part was the OSCE. And OSCE, for the OSCE, I had to come here and then prepare for 3 more months. It's a practical based test. So they have like 3 centers: Oxford, Northampton, and Belfast. So I had to prepare for like 3 months for this, and then my trust booked me for Oxford University. I went there, I gave the practical test. It was completely nursing based practical test where you will be asked to perform several procedures, nursing procedures, like for example catheterization of a patient, or giving medication, or giving CPR to a patient. So these are the small basic steps which they will see whether you are eligible to work, like whether you are eligible, you are practical enough about the nursing field. So yeah, then after that you get your PIN. Like once you pass OSCE, you get your PIN, and then you're free to work in the UK. Yeah.
So was that like a full day practical where the kind of supervisor checks what are you doing, because it's with the real patient, So is it like a full day, or is it like a couple of hours, or what is it like?
Yeah. So well, the exam was on like practiced on dummies. Yeah, it was not a real patient. However, we had to pretend and act like as if it was a real patient. We can't just say treat him or treat it like a dummy. So yeah, it was done on dummies, and but those dummies had their own names, like Mr. X, Mr. Y, like that. So we had to treat the dummies as patients, and basically it took me about 1 day, like around like 4 hours or 5 hours of tests, but it was broken into parts. So yeah, so the whole day, entire day for the OSCE exam. And one thing I loved about NHS is that once you join here, you get one mentor to help you, like OSCE mentor or OSCE trainer, who will help you for the couple of months or 3 months, as much as you want, as much as you require. Like every single day you go to the lab and practice on dummies, and the way they show you all the procedures and everything, that's really appreciated. Like I am really impressed with all the procedures and everything. Yeah.
Thank you. I have another follow-up question on that. So what if someone doesn't pass the exam in the first time, like the OSCE?
Yeah.
Then?
Yeah, so it has happened to a lot of people that they haven't made it at first go, because it's quite a difficult exam, I would say. It's because however good you are at practicals, you can never predict like how will it be on the day of exam, right? Because you get nervous and shaking, and you might forget the steps, the minimum trivial steps and everything. And if you miss any single step, you will just be failed in that particular test. So it has happened to a lot of people. So if you don't qualify at your first go, you have another second chance to rebook your exam. And even on your second attempt, if you don't get it, then on third attempt you get to book for the third attempt. But I'm not sure. I think for the third attempt, you have to pay for it, because here, like OSCE also takes a lot of registration fees, like examination fees, and the trust pays it for you. But for the first and second attempts, I think the trust pays, and for the third attempt, you need to pay for it. So that's the difference between all these steps. Yeah.
At least you get 3 attempts. If you don't pass for the first time or second time, the only difference.
Yeah.
The first and second time, trust pays for it, and third time you have to pay from your own pocket.
Yeah.
So, and once you clear that exam, you get that registration or a PIN.
Yeah.
It means you're a registered nurse with NHS now, right? That's what it means.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, can I just ask one more question regarding visa? When you said visa, so what visa are you given, and how long is your visa valid for? So generally, what's the process? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
Yeah, it's a 3 years visa, tier 2 general, and it's however it's gonna for my case it's gonna expire next year. So before that, I can extend it, or I can apply for ILR, whatever I wish to do. It's a general tier 2 visa. Yeah.
And will your agent do it again for yourself, or is it like you have to do it on your own?
No. So if you are taking help from an agency, then it's completely their responsibility to look after everything related to your arrival in the UK as a nurse. So yeah, my agent did everything. He applied for the visa and he paid for it along with the health surcharge. He just let me know the appointment date, and then I went to the visa center in my city and I appeared for the interview. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, you know what, Mona Lisa, without even looking at the questions which I have prepared, I'm just scrolling through it now and I feel like we have covered everything. And
that's good.
Yeah, and before coming for this interview, what I have done in my community tab, I have already kind of pasted a note saying, I'm interviewing a NHS nurse, so if there are questions, can you ask as many questions you want? So there are 2 questions which I have picked from the My Community tab. So if you know the answer, you can, otherwise you might skip the question. So one of the subscriber, Lokesh, is asking, if someone has +2 in bio, but completed a degree in Master in Horticulture later, will +2 bioscience be considered or eligible for nursing job?
Here in the UK?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so, because if the person is not having an Indian nursing registration, is not a qualified nurse in India, I don't think people will recruit those people who do not have nursing degrees in the UK.
Yeah, and Mona Lisa, you said you did a diploma, so it looks like in NHS they accept a diploma, which is a 3 years course, and also a degree. Is that right?
Yeah. So in India, what we have is GNM and BSc in nursing. So GNM is General Nursing and Midwifery, which is a 3 years course, and it's called as a diploma course. And BSc is obviously the 4 years course in nursing. But here, what I've seen, they do not have anything called GNM. They have just BSc, which is of 3 years. So they consider GNM is equivalent to BSc. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they accepted it. So because I was also not sure, because I had GNM, and a lot of people were saying that you do not have BSc, you won't be able to make it. You need to do a post basic after your diploma and then get the BSc degree, and then you apply for UK. But when I contacted my agent, he made it clear to me, it doesn't matter to them. As long as you're a nurse in the UK, in any other country, you're accepted in the UK. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
It's okay.
That. Okay. So just one last question, So the question is from Shumanshu. He's saying, is the nurse and pharmacist process the same for landing a job in the UK? And he's explaining he got a B Pharma degree from Indian University. What else does he need to get a job in UK? How long is the process for any extra degree required, and whether the process is online, or do we need to take admission in UK college? So do you have any answers? Do you know about B Pharma or pharmacist? Are you aware of anything?
I'll just be honest. I have no idea about pharmacology. Like, how do pharmacists come here? I don't know. But I know this, that there is a huge difference between nurses and pharmacologists, pharmacists, to be very honest. The process basically is very different from each other. That's all I know about it, actually. I don't know. I can't help it with I can't help with this answer. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, no, I wanted to let them know that I have picked up their question. So it's okay. I'm going to ask to the relevant person when I find. Okay. Mona Lisa, I cannot thank you enough for sharing your journey, your stories, and I'm sure this is going to help everybody who's watching your interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your initiative. I really appreciate it. It's really good, and I would love to do it again if you ever ask me. So yeah, I'm happy to help people, and also I have my own channel. I try to spread the knowledge of nursing in the UK as much as I can. I have followers as well, and they also keep on asking me the same questions. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide your link, your channel's link in my
Yeah.
description so that people can watch your detailed videos as well.
Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Mona Lisa, and we will speak soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks to Mona Lisa for sharing her story with us, which I know will inspire you guys. So if you guys still have more questions, do let me know in the comment section below and I'll aim to respond as soon as possible. Thanks for watching the video till the end and I'll see you soon with my next video. Till then, keep learning.